Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Craftsman Creative Podcast. My name's Darren Smith. I'm the founder of Craftsman Creative, and yeah, I do all this content. Everything I write, everything I record, it's all me. You're getting me every single time. How cool is that? Let's dive in today. But first, I want to tell you about something. I've got some cool workshops coming up over the next few weeks. So if you're listening to this the day it comes out or within the first week that it comes out, head over to workshops.craftsmancreative.co, and I've got two really cool ones coming up in March 2023. The first one is how to grow your business through podcasts, and it's a joint workshop with my buddy Jeremy Enns, who runs the podcast marketing podcast marketing academy. There it is. And some other sites that he runs. So he's great, knows tons about podcasts and marketing. And I'll be talking about how to show up and be a good guest on podcasts, but also how to use your own content to generate leads and grow your business. So that'll be a cool one. The other one is kind of my signature presentation or workshop where we'll dive into how to build a bespoke creative business. It's kind of an overview of what we teach deeply in like the 10K challenge and in the Society of Independent Creators and how we help people go through that when they work with us as clients and customers. But for you, I'm going to give you a nice overview, give you one or two takeaways that you can implement right away into your business and see some growth. And then when you're ready, you can come and join us in the Society of Independent Creators community or come in and get coaching or consulting with Craftsman Creative. So with that said, let's dive into 3 ideas today. We're talking about visibility. And what does visibility mean? Another word is awareness or distribution or whatever you might call it, audience, awareness, all those things kind of combine. I use the term visibility. And if you're not already familiar with why I'm choosing a V word, next week, I think I'm going to outline my new framework for building creative businesses. So that'll be exciting. It's a little teaser for you, but let's dive in. First idea, maybe a short one. Everything is downstream from leads. So this is the very first sentence in Daniel Priestley's book, Scorecard Marketing, that recently came out. And I'll put a link in the show notes so you can go grab your copy. It's really, really good. And that first sentence really knocked me on my feet when I read it. I was just like, oh, you're right. Everything is downstream from leads. So this principle has been top of my mind the last few months. Without leads, you don't have a business. And with enough leads, on the other hand, you can become what he calls oversubscribed. And in that scenario, you have opportunities to raise your prices, decide how much you want to work, decide what kind of clients and who you want to work with. You can take time off and all those things because you're oversubscribed, you're profitable, you have enough work coming in, and you've escaped that kind of feast or famine situation that many freelancers, contractors, coaches, creative entrepreneurs find themselves in far too often. So the next question obviously then is, well, how do I get more leads? If everything is downstream from leads and I need more of them, how do I do that? And my short answer for you today is in any and every way that works. So there's no one answer. So plenty of gurus online will sell you on the one funnel challenge. And here's how to use Twitter to get more leads. And here's how to do LinkedIn prospecting. And here's how to do cold outreach. They sell you that because it's what they know, right? And the truth is that there's no one right answer. So until you have more leads than you can handle, my suggestion is to focus on just 1 or 2 channels. So right now, I've kind of not turned off social media. It's really easy for me to post once a day. It takes me 30 seconds, and I don't really go on to social media anymore after this recent digital detox that I did in the month of February. It was really nice and really rewarding, and my business grew because I was focusing on the areas that mattered and not on social media and doom scrolling. But I digress. Just focus on 1 or 2 channels. So I'm focusing now on podcasting and workshops. So I'm spending tons of time making sure that this podcast is good and valuable every week. I'm getting good feedback, better than I've ever gotten in the past from podcasting. So I think the work, making sure this was going to be a valuable thing for people to tune into every week worked. And these workshops that I just mentioned, I'm doing 1 or 2 a month. And then I'm also going to try to get on 2 to 4 podcasts as a guest in the coming months and the rest of this year. I want to do 25 at least this year. I did 12 last year. I would like to double that this year. I think I've already done 3, so I'm well on my way, but now it's about connecting with people and et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, what I'm saying is you find one or two channels that can get you the leads that you're looking for. I'm then using social media and email to tell people about the podcasting and workshops. So, maybe you would call that 4 channels, but really the leads are generated at the podcast and workshop stage. So then, you want to kind of reverse engineer. You got to think through, how many clients do you need per month, or how many sales do you need per month? And how many leads do you need to talk to or to get into your email system in order to get that many clients? It's really simple math that you just kind of reverse engineer. And by doing so, by reverse engineering your number of leads, all you want to do, if you're just starting and doing this for the first time, or if you're like, I'm going to commit to getting more leads and getting oversubscribed, then take that lead number and stick it on your wall or your computer screen and make a goal and a commitment to hit that number every month. My number is 100 new leads, and I track that through the scorecard. And I've mentioned that in this podcast before. If you go to scorecard.craftsandcreative.co, it'll take you to an awesome scorecard. It's about 30 questions, takes a few minutes, yes or no questions. And what it does is it gives you an idea of what systems are working in your business and which ones are not, either non-existent or not working, not providing the outcomes that you want them to. And that's a great starting point to identify, okay, what's the 1 or 2 areas I want to work on this year or the next 3 months? Because if you try to do it all, it's too hard. So you find one and you focus on it. So that's how I'm counting my leads, is through those scorecards. My number is 100 a month, because between people that listen to the podcast and the workshops, I've got people that are coming in and are interested in my high ticket stuff, and people that are interested in my coaching and my community. So 100 leads should lead to enough new business every month to keep me oversubscribed and well on my way to having really good revenue. Okay, so there's your first idea. Everything is downstream from leads. That should be a major focus for you if you currently are not oversubscribed. Okay, second idea, your minimum viable audience. So let's do some math, shall we? How big an audience do you need for your business to succeed at the level you want it to? And again, we're bringing up this idea of reverse engineering it so you can discover your number fairly quickly. So I want you to think about the following for you. How many sales do you need? How many calls do you need? How many leads? How many prospects? And what size audience? And let me give you some numbers around those, right? So you want to identify, maybe you need 4 sales per month. So you need 2 to 5 times that number of calls. You need 10 to 30 times that number of leads, 10x or so of prospects, and 10x or so audience. So let's use the 10x as kind of our number because it makes for really easy math, okay? So let's use, for example, you have a $2,500 offer. Maybe you do video production, maybe you do monthly coaching or consulting for businesses. And so your offer is $2,500. So you need 4 sales a month to get to $2,500 or $10,000 a month, right? 2,500 times 4, 10,000. So in order to get those 4 sales, you need 10 calls, that's 2.5x. And you need 100 leads, that's 10x, and 1,000 prospects, that's 10x, and then a 10,000 audience, right? Another 10x. So this hypothetical person, maybe it does seem to align with you perfectly, but that's okay. This hypothetical person would need 10,000 people to see their short form content on social media and get 10% of those off the platform and onto what's called an owned channel. So like a blog, a podcast, a workshop, something like that. These long form owned channel content pieces then have a call to action to get a lead magnet or to become a lead, to get an email, to get a download, to get a scorecard, whatever it might be. So 10% of those people become a lead. So look, we got 10,000 impressions or things on social media. 10% of those people who see that content come over and click on a link and go to your blog. 1,000 people a month read your blog, right? So it's 250 a week or 200 or so a week. So if you're only getting 50, yeah, you're going to have to 4x that thing. But let's keep going with this. 10,000 people a month see your short form content. 1,000 people a month visit your blog. 100 of them join your email list or become a lead. And those leads start getting emails every month. And 10% decide that they're ready to learn more about the service because the emails do a good job giving context and tension. And those 100 people turn into 10 calls, which turns into 4 sales because you've mastered your sales pitch and you've got people coming in every week, right? So as you can likely guess, if any part of that system is underperforming, you wouldn't end up with 4 new clients every month. So if you don't have 10,000 people viewing your short form content, well, how are you going to get 1,000 people per week over to your blogs? Are you guest posting? Are you, putting the link in your podcast appearances? Like, how are you going to get 1,000 people a month over to your website? Okay, you got to figure that out. Most people choose content because it's what they know and it's easy and it's what they're already doing. So they just optimize it to get more people from social media over to their website. And if you're not getting 1,000 visitors to turn into 100 new email subscribers or leads every month, then that part needs some focus. If your 100 leads aren't turning into 10 calls, then that needs your focus, et cetera, et cetera. So you need enough awareness to generate enough engagement that turns into enough interest and conversion. Okay. So I really want you to think about what are your numbers. And as soon as you have them, that becomes another target to hit every day or week or month to make sure you have the deal flow coming in consistently. Okay. So all these systems are connected. Your email engagement system is connected to your lead generation system, which is connected to your content system, all these things. So last thought for you. Let me check my time here. I'm at 10 minutes. That's good. I want to try to keep these to like 15 or less. Or I think I've gone to 20 once or twice. So let's keep this last one short. This last idea is that you have an awareness problem. These are all connected, right? These are all very similar. Seth Godin has often said to artists and creators, you don't have a product problem, you have an awareness problem. The problem is that nobody knows you exist, okay? My guess is that statement is true for 99% of us, maybe even more. So just as everything in your business is downstream from leads, what comes before leads is awareness. So you have to identify an audience of people that are perfectly targeted. Their needs align with what your business provides. And then you've got to figure out a way to get a consistent number of people to become a prospect, to go from passively consuming your content on social media to actively clicking, engaging, signing up to learn more, and becoming a lead. So you might have the most amazing lead magnet or email welcome series or 60-minute webinar, but if no one knows about it, the results, meaning more clients and sales, they don't just magically happen. So every part of the system has to be working in order to get the desired outcome. The mistake I see a lot of creators make is they think that they're not selling enough because they're not good enough. And it goes back to this fear of I'm not enough. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough credentials. So the number of people that are incredibly talented musicians that I see going back over and over again to get another degree, because they think that's the answer. And for some people, it might be. It's not a blanket statement that you should not go get more degrees. But a degree does not give you an audience or a guarantee that you'll make revenue and have a business, right? It's just a degree. So not to discount it, but I do discount it in that context of I'm not enough, so I need more credentials, or I'm not enough, so I need to hone my craft even more and get better and better and better. It's generally not a craft problem or a skill problem or a product problem. 99% plus of the time, it's an awareness problem. So focus on the actual problem, not what you think is the problem. And if it comes down to that, then it really just is a matter of you deciding to say, every week I'm going to spend an hour or 3 or 5 on awareness, right? Getting more people to know that the thing you made exists. So I'm doing this now for these workshops. 80% of the time that I'm spending in a month is on promoting and following up with leads from the workshop. So 2 to 3 weeks of promotion for a 1-hour presentation. So whatever that ratio turns out to be, a 10 to 1, I'm doing much, much more promotion, but it's working, right? I'm 3 weeks out for the next big workshop and I already got 20 people signed up. So that's solid. I only need really 50 to turn into 1 or 2 calls. And if I got 2 of those workshops a month and that's 4 calls, then I can get 1 client. And that's really all I need right now, right? So you got to think of it that way. How are you going to get enough people off of like the platforms and being a passive audience to being an active, engaged prospect or lead for your business? All right, that's it for today. Man, I kept it under 15 minutes. Look at that. Go us. So if you have not yet gone over and taken the scorecard, I highly, highly recommend that you do that because it will give you tons of clarity on where you're at right now. And as I've probably spoken about before on this podcast, you need 3 things to get anywhere. You need to know where you are, where you're going, and how to get there. So that's what we provide at Craftsman Creative. We give you all three of those things, but you can start with where you are. And the easiest way to determine that is to take this free scorecard. So head over to scorecard.craftsmancreative.co, take the free scorecard. And guess what? I'm actually taking time every week to dive in, look at people's scores, and give feedback. So you might even get a 5 to 10 minute video from me with some extra ideas on how to improve your score and where to put your focus for the coming months on how to grow your business. So thank you so much for listening. Hey, if you want to do one last favor in the 20 seconds I have left, share this podcast with a friend. If you enjoy it, if you're getting value from it, I would love for you to share a link in your newsletter or post it on social media and just say, hey, this is great. You should check it out. Podcast discovery is notoriously difficult and non-existent. The platforms don't really do a good job. There's no TikTok algorithm for discovering podcasts, right? Maybe that's an idea for one of you to go make, 30-second clips as swipeable, TikTok style algorithmic fed clips to discover new podcasts. But until that day comes, we rely on listeners like you to share it with other people. So if you like the podcast, please share it with someone else. And I would be greatly appreciative if you do so. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week with a couple more ideas.